to your website, and you would not post that content anywhere else. You would have to make it unique.
Okay, I see. And there's another question. Another question is so from this aspect, because I know Udemy has how many users now?
8 million.
Over 8 million. Yeah.
Okay, so from that aspect, Udemy is an amazing platform for marketing. Even though everyone has this concern about $10, which I have too myself. But again, from the aspect of marketing, it's amazing. So wouldn't you wanna, for example, offer free course that has an amazing value, and kind of get your name out there and help people go to your website? Or is it any kind of cheating, or how is this considered?
So depending on what you want to do from Udemy, do you want to use Udemy to just get leads to your own website, or do you want to actually make money from Udemy? Because
I actually want to sell my courses on the website, my own website, but I do want to be on Udemy. I know, honestly, I've been going to, for example, Udemy and buy course, or just get something for free, and then I go to this exact, business on their website and look them up, and then go and browse for, maybe I get something from their website. So would you use this platform as a marketing feature, more like as a marketing platform, because people get to know your business there?
So in looking at other people, at other Udemy instructors and other businesses who have their own website and only offer free courses, I think it doesn't hurt, because that's not my business model, but I know that people do it. There's probably the best free course that I can think of is from a company called Wistia, who hosts videos.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Okay, so they have a free course on Udemy too. And that works as a lead generation from Udemy.
So is this allowed to have your link or your website name or however posted there?
So you can have your website in the course. The only thing is you cannot directly collect emails from Udemy.
Oh yeah.
Oh, because I don't know how much you know about Udemy. Do you know the Udemy policies, or? I
do not know Udemy. I honestly have used it as a user, not as a, however we say it, trainer. There's a certain word that, not a trainer, how you say it, teacher. However you want to call it. I didn't creator of the course. However, I'm sorry, I can't find the word. So I didn't use from that aspect, but I am definitely looking into how you can utilize Udemy platform.
Yeah, you could definitely link your website to your course, and also you could send education to your student, but for that information, you cannot require them to have an email address. So, okay, so that's the only thing. But yeah, you could definitely do it, and it would definitely be smart. I feel like I've been talking a lot.
Yeah, I was going to say, Sergey, if he wants to answer, I'm just popping open another beer, and then in just a moment, we're going to let Scott back on, but I'm also going.
I'll jump off definitely, but I really appreciate you answering my questions, and I'm sorry for so many questions, because I said like one question, but I had like a 5. So.
Yeah, hey, we certainly appreciate it. It's awesome to have people on here with us, and hopefully we'll see more of you on Udemy.
So are you all on Udemy, correct?
Yes.
Yes. Okay. So I'll follow you all, because I want to kind of hear more about this. So how often do we have this blog? How often do we have this blog?
Matt and I have been doing this every week on Thursday, but for some reason we took a week off for Matt's birthday, and I went to Seattle, and then this week Matt, he's like almost wanting to do this every day, and I'm like, hey, I've got to get some work done. So you'll find us at least every Thursday. That could change, but we're going to try to do this at least once a week, because it's just awesome to be able to talk about this stuff.
Yes, absolutely.
And people. Sergey, is this your first time on a blab?
Yeah, I have never been on this site, so this is pretty cool. I mean, I watched the videos, but I never actually been on the video itself. So
yeah, you've got a cool background behind you. What is that?
This is the background I use for my videos, actually. And
is that like a chalkboard or something, or
chalkboard? This is just a towel.
ah?
It's not even a towel. It's what, I forgot the name of it. It's like
I need to do that.
That looks great.
it's something for the bed. You know, it's like some kind of a, yeah. It's not a sheet. It's like a covering for it. That's what it is.
Yeah, it looks good. I just think that you need like maybe just a little more lighting, but otherwise it looks great like that.
I have enough lighting. It's fine when I do the videos because I have a special camera. But
yeah, and Matt's got the cool kitchen cabinets behind him and the microwave. So if he like wants to switch from beer to coffee, it's really easy to do.
Yeah, because I use it for my.
So you have any thoughts on what we talked about there with Sonia before we move on?
Yeah, well, she was saying like selling. You have to make a choice between if you want to sell your stuff on your website or on Udemy. That's a choice you have to. And it's a business decision because if you start offering free stuff and try to get them to your website, it doesn't really work that good on Udemy. And in fact, I mean, I find very few people who actually go into the website I have. And my website is really going back to Udemy itself. So it's kind of an interesting site where people go into my site. And then if they get a discount coupon off of it, because there was a few courses I have over there. Mm-hmm. And what I actually try to do is tell them to go on the site and then can get coupons off of it and go back into Udemy to take those coupons. Mm-hmm. You're allowed to put this in.
Okay, I see. Okay.
So you're allowed to put this in a bonus lecture at the end. But the whole issue here is most people, like most students, they don't, if they buy the class and if they're interested, they would take the bonus lecture, but they don't really go to your website. So you have to make the decision. You want to put your content into Udemy or you want to put your content outside, because outside of Udemy, you have to do a lot more work. You have to get a lot more students to know who you are. You have to market yourself. And this is the same thing you're doing on Udemy anyway, but on Udemy, you have thousands more people and a lot more people that you can actually market to. So, and then you asked me about the price. Like you said, $250, and why am I selling everything on 10? Now, some people say, hey, like I have 22 classes. Do I get some full price sales? Yes, I actually do. And it does happen. And like Matt, you have some people who refund you. I mean, when they pay full price. I actually had a few people who buy full price, and usually I don't get refunds for those, which is kind of like, I'm like, okay, 30 days. It's going to take me 30 days, and I'm just waiting the countdown before they actually go for the refund. But the thing is, if you give them enough value and the class is pretty long and worth the amount of money, which I'm trying to do, like the amount of money I want to charge the class, I want them to be able to think it's really worth that amount. So by the time they finish the whole class, it probably would take them longer than 30 days if you're a normal person. But if you're somebody who wants to just take the classes, yeah, it's going to take you like 6 hours or 3 hours, whatever it is. But most people don't really take a class and just like take the whole thing and just get a refund. Although I do get some people on Udemy and it happens pretty all the time. But you have to keep in mind that Udemy is like Walmart. And when you understand Walmart or JCPenney, you have to understand the market on those places. The market is, there's always on sale. There's always a sale that's going to happen. And it's up to you. Do you want to buy something when it's always on sale or you don't? And people are going to know about this after a while, yes. But if you're a new student, you're not going to know about this. And most likely, you're not going to get the refund when you go on this. So this is something people have to understand when you go on Udemy. It's like Walmart, and everything is on sale at a select time if you always shop on Walmart. But if you go on Walmart like once or 3 times a year, you're not going to know about this at all. So maybe that helps you.
Thanks. I think that's some good information, I mean, to definitely think about, because I've thought about that. I don't have that many full price sales, and I've only had one refund. That was several months ago. I had one last month. And so that kind of stuff doesn't really worry me at all. I've always said that I don't focus on that kind of stuff. What I'm focused on is just I have a certain goal, in mind on how much I want to make each month with Udemy and everything else that revolves around Udemy. And so that's what I focus on. So, hey, it's going to bring Scott back on, but Scott, if you don't mind just waiting for a moment, we'll bring Suzanne on and see if she's got a question, and then we'll bring Scott back in with us. I wish that there was room for a few more people in this format, but it's just 4.
Well,
Hi there.
It's better for 4 because I seen it because I was there in early days for Blab at the beginning of the days, and they tried like 6 to 8, and 4 is ideal. 4 is ideal. Yeah.
Good. Well, welcome.
Hi, welcome to the it's 12:40 Wednesday in Sydney, Australia. Hi. It's interesting that I believe in serendipitous moments. My mentor mentioned about it because what I do is like I talk about Bitcoin and blockchain. And I already did some research like on the search engine onto Udemy search engine and checked out if there's any Bitcoin one, but there is nothing on blockchain. And that's where like my target audience is planning to be with the corporate people, because I know that they're interested in that kind of like space. My question is like you've kind of already answered already in terms of pricing and things like that. I'm already like bringing an outside audience because I have an audience on the outside that I'm planning to bring in. So Matt kind of answered the question is like maybe you should just put it onto your own website. But I'll probably want to tap into the Udemy infrastructures as well with 8 million people there. My question is this, because like I'm probably planning to do Matt's courses, but I still want to like do the prep work because I believe in planning. So my kind of key questions to all 3 of you is like, what are like some like quick tips on how to like prepare for a really good Udemy class that I should be aware of?
You got cut off a bit, so can you
okay. What are like 3 tips that I should like each of you would personally give that you would to prepare for a Udemy class?
So your first class to prepare for going live with a Udemy class?
Yes.
So Matt, you go first, then Sergey, and then I'll answer. Okay.
All right. So I get the hard question. Okay. So
3 tips, just 3 tips or something like that. Yeah.
3 tips. Okay. That's still hard for me to do. Hold on a second.
Well, especially contextualize it for someone who's jumping into Udemy for the first time. He is not even aware of the community.
So. Here's mine real quick. Don't get discouraged if the sales don't come in right away. Don't be so focused on totally focused on quality, because you can always go in and make some adjustments, but make sure that it's still good enough to get good reviews. And like what we were talking about earlier, engage with your students. It's really important to build relationships with your students. So those are my 3 tips. So there you go, Matt. There's some time to think about that.
Okay. So number 1, I would go in and watch other instructors' Udemy courses and see the quality of it and see the production that they put on, and you can kind of emulate that in your own courses. So you can get an idea of what's acceptable on Udemy and what's not. Let's see. Sergey, you want to go so I can think about more?
Okay, what you have to do is pretty simple. You have to, first of all, think about, you have a topic that you came up with. Now you have to look at the competition, and that helps you figure out what you're doing, and it also helps you figure out what you should be doing, because a lot of times you might, I think this class should be this, and that, but then you look at the competition and check it out. Plus, you have to see if there is a market for your class. Sometimes you can just waste a huge amount of time creating a class and eventually finding out there is zero market for it whatsoever. So yes, you can launch that class anyway. Sometimes zero market is actually better, but you have to think about social media. There is a humongous amount of market on Udemy, and there is so much competition there. But if you want to launch it and test it out, you probably will make money because there is just so much demand there at the same time. Versus something brand new that was never tested, that's something that you can test out and see what happens. And you're not too sure about that, because when you launch something new, you can either really make good money because you're the first one out there, or you can make nothing because there is nobody out there who is going to buy it.
Oh, that's okay.
But,
like there is nothing on blockchain. There's nothing there on blockchain, so that's all right.
There's nothing like it. Okay, so if there's nothing like it, there's one good thing about this. I mean, you're forced to the market. That means you're going to dominate the whole market. But now the only thing that you have to do is market yourself a lot more heavily, because you have to find people who are going to go into your class. But we have to do this anyway, so it doesn't really matter, because at the same time, every single day you want to get as many people in so you can sell them something new, because this is like a sales job, and it's not a small sales job. This is a big sales job where you try to find thousands of little sales to make money every single month.
Okay, that's okay. So, I have a background in social marketing, so this is like, I'm just going to generate and push everyone to promote it that way. But what you all said was like really good,
awesome.
Especially using case studies and just looking at what Udemy is doing with it. And I think, and there's probably one thing that I probably would just do it. I think everyone's like so afraid of doing things. If you just do it, then you're probably...
Exactly. You should just get it out and see what happens. A lot of times we have first-time instructors. I'm actually creating a class for people that's going to focus on how to create a course on Udemy fast. So it's going to give some tips about that. But at the same time, you have to understand that you have to just get the class out there, because a lot of times people are like, okay, I have to do this, this, and this, and this. And then you procrastinate, you keep on waiting and waiting and waiting, and eventually you don't do anything. Some people like maybe takes 2 years, 3 comes something out. But now a lot of people already came up with something by the time you got your content out, and you worked so long just to perfect it. And then when you come up with it, it's not even good enough. So you get disappointment that way, versus if somebody just, okay, you did a good job, you put in like a few months of good work, you get it out, you market it, you try to market it pretty good, and then you see what happens. If it doesn't go good after a month, and make sure you take a lot of instructor classes. There was Matt's class, there was a lot of classes out there that focus on how to create courses, how to market, and you learn all the stuff that it's going to give you a shortcut. You don't need to go through everything and try to figure out by yourself, because somebody already figured it out for you, and there was the answer right there, which is kind of cool.
Yeah, thank you so much again. I'm going to jump off so someone could go back onto it, but some of the I'm just going to do it.
Hey, real quick, did you say where you're at, where you're from, Suzanne?
Sydney, Australia.
Oh, wow. Man, I would love to go there. Awesome.
Yeah. Yeah.
Wait,
my last day, right? It's
that's why I said my tagline is like, welcome to the future, because I know I'm ahead of you guys.
Awesome. Well, it was good meeting you. Thanks for joining us.
And thank you again, Matt, for like the voucher as well. I appreciate that. Bye, guys.
Thank you. Take care. Bye. Hey, Scott, you ready to jump in again with us here?
While we're talking, I guess I could give 2 more tips. I don't know if she probably knows this anyways, but I would definitely make multiple courses, because you're able to cross promote, and I think that's probably the most powerful tool on Udemy that I know of, is having multiple courses and and upselling and cross selling to these courses. So there's that. And what I like to do before I create a course is I want to make sure, to the best of my abilities, that the course can stay relevant for the next 3 to 5 years. And if the course can apply to everybody in the world, so it's not limited. For an example, my eBay courses were only really limited to the people in the US. So I'm missing, at least in my case, 35% of the students are my students are from the US, and 65% of my students are from around the world. So I'm kind of missing out on 65% of my students not being able to directly apply my course on selling on eBay. So those are definitely the 2 concepts the tips that I would give you on Udemy.
Yeah,
awesome.
I also have classes on eBay too. So in fact, we kind of compete, because I have them too. But you actually get kicked out of eBay, which is not that unusual, because eBay has been cracking down on a bunch of stores, and they're getting rid of whoever they want to. So pretty much that became an issue. So you have to think about this. Udemy can become like that too. They can just get rid of people who are just not getting, using, I just lost my thought.
Yeah. But
have more beer.
No, that's enough.
Go ahead with your thought there. I mean, I do that myself. So
no, I'm just saying that what can happen is when you have just too many. What happened is with eBay, up to 2007, with the economy collapsing, everybody was selling all those stuff because they had no money. And eBay just got swamped with so many people who were sellers, and there was so few buyers that they decided to get rid of all those extra sellers out there who've been abusing the system, or if they just made like minor mistakes. But they got rid of a lot of people who actually didn't do anything. So the funny thing is, like, people think, oh, you got rid of eBay. I mean, they kicked you off for real reason, but a lot of times they kicked off people because their feedback went below standard, and a lot of people who were using eBay didn't even know about the rules because they come up with all those crazy rules every few months. The old CEO used to just come up every few. There was all kinds of different ways that you were being judged on eBay. They went one system to another system and another, and a lot of sellers just stopped paying attention to it. It just got so crazy out there. So I think if Udemy does the same exact thing with keep changing the rules and stuff like that, this is something to watch out for. I hope it doesn't get this way, because eBay really got a lot of people really upset when they start doing that. People moved into Etsy, Amazon FBA. They start selling on those platforms. I have classes on that as well. But you realize that you can't put like all your income like just in one place, such as just all your income on eBay or just your income on one location, because if something happens to the company or anything else, that's it. You have zero income coming in. That's why each of us is probably start to do the same thing. They're selling, you're making money on more than one specific way, because we just don't know which one is going to take a hit someday and it's going to close down, or something is going to happen. And hopefully Udemy is going to continue and become a lot bigger, which we all hope it would become, and that would be great, But at the same time, it's like we also have to protect our own income. So that's the reason a lot of us do different things. Yeah.
Sergey, you have to know, anytime you have a platform like Udemy where people start making some income, this gets posted all around Warrior Forum. All of these serious internet marketers get a sniff of the wind, and suddenly it becomes, I can make a course tonight, I can make a course tomorrow, I can make a course Friday. It's like the factory. And Amazon Kindle experienced this. There's all sorts of low quality ebooks that got pumped out of the last couple of years, and then they changed the algorithm again for Amazon just recently. Udemy is just protecting the good fortune, if you will, from people who are here today, gone tomorrow. So it's even eBay. There's people who were scammers. There's people who were lying, and their profiles are lying. It's like there's always going to be that element of people who think they can just cheat a little bit and get ahead,
With the new Udemy analytics too, I wouldn't be surprised when enough time goes by that Udemy either kicks off instructors for their low ratings, or they just put them at the very, very bottom of the search.
But that should be, like, think about Google, right? Like if a web domain has a low authority and is known for bad behavior, spamming, whatever, where do you end up on Google, right? They give you a 600 rank penalty and you're in nowhere. So these guys, now we can talk about Udemy having completely different business goals than the four of us. That's a whole different conversation. So we have to be, to your point, we have to be aware that we're looking out for us and they're looking out for them, right? But let's not be naive and think that everyone who comes is just trying to serve students and be a good teacher, versus taking PLR content and hey, I can buy a thing for $19 on Warrior Forum, and I can make it a course tomorrow. Like, that's a different mindset.
So, hey, before we continue,
let me go ahead with my logical reasoning.
Yeah. Hey, so before we continue, let me do some reminders here. I want to thank you if you're still with us. It looks like that there's 18 here still with us live. We have up to 27. I mean, we're different time zones here. It's coming up on 8 o'clock here in Idaho, and I don't mind continuing this discussion because we've got some good questions in here. We need to make sure that we filter out and look at some of those questions. But if you could click on that button over there to the left that says Tell a Little Bird and type in the hashtag live to let people know that we're still live. If you'd like to connect with any of us on Blab up above where the circles are, Matt, I, Sergey, Scott, you can connect with us on Blab, and you can connect with us on Twitter. If you want to ask a question, since we've got all of the seats full right now, do a / the letter Q for question, a space, and then type out your question so that it flags that so that we can filter for questions and we can see that you have a question, because there are some questions out there that I can see just by looking that aren't flagged like that, and we want to make sure that we don't miss it. If for some reason we get too many questions, we can always send those to you. Christy, thanks very much for the images over there off to the left-hand side there. There's some great images, and I like using these to share for future blabs there. And I appreciate all of you who have been sending this out on Twitter. It's awesome just to let other people know what we're doing and all of that. And, you know, if you're a Udemy instructor and you have a course coupon or something like that, I don't mind that you post like when I ask for something like that, because we are Udemy instructors and we do have courses, and I don't mind sharing out that kind of stuff every now and then. Or a website, if you've got a website or something like that and you're here with us live on the Blab, just go ahead and share it out there. As long as you're not spamming, I don't mind. If I'm just requesting it, then it's good. So what are we going to talk about next, guys? Do you have any thoughts that you need to finish up? Or
I might pop off, actually.
What? Are you getting tired?
Well, I don't know. We've been on for an hour and a half. I think that
it is.
Well, I know that it's later there for you. All three of you are on the Eastern time zone, right?
This is early.
It's early for you, yeah. Yeah. And hey, if you're just joining us, what city are you joining us from, or where in the world are you? Where is Waldo? Isn't that like a book or something like that? Where are you Atlanta? Cool. Awesome. That's is that Eastern time zone? Detroit? I went to
I'm gonna pop off for like 10-15 minutes and then I'll be back.
Okay, that's good.
My girlfriend just landed from her flight. She's been on vacation, so I want to talk to her.
Isn't she coming home?
Go pick her up from the airport. She's there.
She flew in from Connecticut with their family, so
okay.
she's gonna have that tomorrow morning and then go directly to work. So
okay, send me a message or just let me know when you're back. Okay.
Okay. All right. I'll see you guys soon if you guys are still on in like 15 minutes.
Okay. So hey guys, here's a little bit about what Matt and I were talking about earlier in the Blab. We started off talking about sharing new things that him and I have been doing. To generate income, like, selling courses for $1, launching a new course maybe for free, and doing some things like Matt had done, giving people the option to choose their price. And then we also talked about building student relationships. Maybe you can share some of the things that you're doing, because we both believe it's important to do that. And then we also talked about some things that we were doing to generate some side income rather than just all Udemy courses. And Sergey might be doing some of that. I know, Scott, that you have coursecrushers.com. Is that correct? But I don't know if it's specifically.
Right now it's a money hole.
Yeah. But it's there. It's another way for people to promote their courses. So why don't you go ahead and talk about that a little bit? And then, Sergey, you can talk a little bit about what you're doing, and also maybe some tips on building relationships with students while I take a bite of my lemon bar and have a sip of beer.
Yeah, sure. So